All right. So last session, we'll keep it short and sweet. Session video 6. It's called "How the Heck Do We Know Each Other?" That's what I guess we'll call this session. So I'll give my little intro story of how I came across these two lovely folks in northern Tasmania that I truly feel have become a second family. And it's been so amazing to, we talk, even before we were working on this project together of bringing casks of whiskey over to the US, we would talk on the phone. You know, sometimes we'd go a month or 6 weeks, but you know, we always did catch up, and it's just always been such a fun, easygoing relationship, and you're some of my closest friends. So although we haven't seen each other in many years now, which is really sad to say, you know, how I first came about Tasmania, even before I got to see both of you and meet both of you, was I was doing my Her Whiskey Love blog and traveling around the world. And the original plan was to take a year and go through Scotland, Ireland, Japan, and the States. So Tasmania wasn't, it was on my radar. I had heard that they were making whiskey there, but it wasn't, I didn't think I'd have time, or I just, you know, it wasn't in the big plan. You know, I was going to the big countries. And so my first stop was Scotland, because that's my first true love, is single malt. And so the United States was last to go down to Kentucky and the Bourbon Trail, but I was meeting some folks, and after a few weeks there, I got introduced to Weems, the independent bottler who does a lot of blended malts. They're based out of Edinburgh. Got a meeting with their marketing team, and one of the new guys on the team, he asked about my travels, and he said, "Oh, I have a friend that moved to Tasmania to work at Lark. You should go to Tasmania during your travels." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." And he was like, "I'll give you his email." So he connected us, and it ended up being this guy named Craig, who you two know very well, and I know hangs out at the distillery quite often. Was at Lark and then back in Scotland with, I think, Brown-Forman, and then back in Tasmania permanently again. But, you know, really just a stranger. And I emailed and said, "Hey, if I can make it over there, what should I do?" And he sent this long list of basically a whole nother month I could spend in Tasmania. And I was pretty blown away by, I was like, all of that is going on over there. So after Japan, I was like, oh, I'll just take this quick extra month and hop down to Tasmania, and started on I think it was 3.5 weeks that first trip. And yeah, made it up to Launceston. And at the time, it was really just, it was you and Adams. You know, you had some distilleries outside of Launceston, but mostly doing gin and whatnot. So I was so thrilled to get up there and meet you both. Everyone had been raving about you, and we just hit it off. So that's my origin story of how I forced Mathew and Jules to be my friend. That's basically how it goes, right? Is that how you see the story?
Yes, that's true. And he wrote a beautiful story about us. I remember being a little nervous because, yes, we had had an experience that was a little bit controversial, that's a good word. And yes, but I remember we had a beautiful day. It was our wedding anniversary, and we all went to lunch, and we got to know you a bit better, or a lot more about you and your family. And yes, I think it just started from there, and we think of you as our adopted daughter way over there. So that's what we tell when we tell the story as well. So yeah, I think it's just been lovely. And it's funny how you did come back twice in the same sort of time, and then you did spend a night with us and over a few whiskies, and yeah, we did a few nice things, I think, and went up to Devonport, and
that's right.
Yes, yes, as you say there, what did we do? Yes, how can you remember what we listened to as music?
I know, I remember the oddest things. And really do. I felt so bad that I kept coming back on your anniversary, but you
No,
seemed okay with it. So I was like, oh, maybe they're.
Oh, that's fine.
no, it didn't matter. We've been married a long time.
So I do
Yes,
remember too, I was nervous to come over and stay with you because I was like, I know that Jules wakes up really early to go swimming and do all of these things. And I don't really like to wake up before 8. Like, I don't know, like if they're going to like me anymore. That I think I woke up, I compromised and I was like, I'll get up at maybe 7. Maybe I'll get up at 7:30.
Oh, that was all right. I'm used to trying to sneak out and leaving Mathew to sleep in as well. So he'd do an 8 o'clock if I didn't bang around so much, I reckon.
Well, and Mathew was so kind to let me, it's always good to refresh your technical skills and get that hands-on experience. And that's harder and harder to come by now, for sure. It's let alone the big distilleries, but even just time, your time is valuable. So just being able to absorb all of that knowledge with hanging out with both of you, and you're so enveloped in that in the Tasmanian whiskey scene, and you've been one of the originals, so you've been riding the waves of what's going on in Tasmania, and it's been really fun to go through that journey with you, which is really just getting started. You're going to be making whiskey for a long time.
Well, we hope so. And we're very excited about what's happening with you. So yes, Mathew tells everybody. It's nearly the first thing he tells them.
Well, I know that Andrew and I feel honored that you trust us with your whiskey, and you don't have a lot of it, so it's must be hard for you to release some of that into the wild without having control over it. I know that's how I would feel, and so we're very honored to have been able to bring over some of your whiskey, and we have to get back over there and celebrate properly for what we've achieved. This almost took us 2 years, really. I mean, we kind of started it takes time for these projects, and we wanted to do it correctly and make sure that we could have your bottles, and a lot of details. So patience has brought us to some really great results, and these video sessions are a great opportunity to just have people meet you, essentially, because not everyone's going to get to fly over to Tasmania like I did, and come up to the distillery, which I know you love meeting folks. But this is an opportunity for people to see who you both are, and the people behind the whiskey is so important, because you're a small business. So we all want to support small businesses that we relate to and that we feel have good products, and with your whiskey and your charisma and personalities, you have the perfect match. So it couldn't be better, at least in my eyes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. That's lovely. Yeah.
No, we don't have to worry about sending it over there.
I must admit, I was relieved when I knew it had arrived on your shores, not still floating around in the ocean.
Well, luckily they do have trackers on the ships, so we knew where it was, thank goodness. But that was a little bit of and we even had some minor hiccups when it arrived here in the States. I mean, we've got all the stories for new importers, but it was always safe, and it was only ever just one state away. So we were able to get it up and bottle it, and it was really fun. I kept thinking I have to channel Mathew and Jules, like, okay, label, placement, like everything else, like I am them here in the States. I have to channel them and make sure it's to their liking. So yeah, we're excited to share it with everyone. And I do recall the last time I was up there, we went to Sinapius, we drank some fantastic wine, which I'm so thrilled we got one of the Pinot Noir, Sinapius Pinot Noir casks for the US releases, and it's delicious. It's really, really great. So They were really cool vineyard, and I remember being in the car and Mathew put it on his CD. I think it was a CD, or maybe it was his phone and he plugged it in. I don't know. Maybe
Would
I'm
have been
dating
CD.
myself.
It's back to in the CD days, I think.
Yeah, and it was Lord. When Lord had her new CD out, and you were like, I love this girl. Have you heard her? And I was like, she's great. And we were just jamming out to Lord as we went to the vineyard. So
yes, I'm not sure who the latest is now. Is in music. We listen to a bit of everything.
So yeah, I don't know what
Yes.
happened to Lord, but I hope she's doing well. I haven't heard much from her since that last release. But no, there's
Yes, we'll have to look her up.
many more great times to come. And yeah, this is Mathew and Jules, my adopted family in Tasmania. So